to discuss today about upper impacted third molar. As you can see in the X-ray, we have the impacted third molar which is mesially tilted just nearby the roots of second molar. If we allow it to stay there for longer time, what can happen is it can resorb the roots of the second molar. Hence we try and go for the extraction of this third molar. So firstly, we inject some local anesthesia which is lignocaine with adrenaline, which also helps giving a relative bloodless field. We prefer giving buccal infiltration instead of PSA nerve block and greater palatine nerve block. Once the area are anesthetized, we go for a relieving incision at the buccal aspect of upper second molar and a crestal incision. Once that is done, we go for subperiosteal lifting of the tissue. Hence you can see a part of the cusp of upper third molar is lightly exposed. So then we gradually go and expose it a bit more. So now we go for drilling of the bone, that is osteotomy, to facilitate a better luxation of the tooth by freeing it from the surrounding bone. As you can see, the tooth was pretty hard to get luxated, so we trimmed it a bit more of bone distally as well as buccally. We can't go more medially as there are the roots of second molar. Also there is sinus present. So we try and elevate it, and finally it gets elevated with a sound. Now what's this click sound about? It can be either due to two things, maybe due to fracture of bone or due to fracture of the root. Now this tooth was so deep that hardly the root piece was captured in the RVG. But thanks to the 3.5 magnification glass which we use with the headlamp, we were able to see the root piece high up clinically. So we hence go for more amount of cutting, and after a minute or two we retrieve the root piece, and here how it looks. The entire tooth was removed in two pieces. As you can see, the root curvature of one of the root is bit more. This is the reason why it had to fracture. Further, we close the area using Mersilk sutures. So as you saw here, one of the root was curved, and detecting such curvature in the normal RVG or IOPA is difficult. Thus, for impacted upper and lower third molars, which are especially in close approximation of maxillary sinus and inferior alveolar nerve, it's a good practice to go for CBCT rather than opting for an IOPA or RVG. Hope this was a good video so that you could have understood regarding how the extraction is done. Also, we would advise all to get a good set of fiber optic loops or magnification glass to improve and magnify their field of vision in surgery. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and do tell us in the comment section on what more topics do you want us to make the videos on. Bye bye.